Hey guys, Rom Guruji here, and today we are going to talk about the Iqoo 3 yet again. But this time around, I'm talking as a user who has been using this phone as a daily driver for all these months. But before we do that, if you're new here, press that subscribe button and the bell icon for all the notifications, and let's get started. So, firstly, let me tell you why I'm doing this video. So, the one main reason is because the customers have been coming up on various platforms and talking about what is wrong with the device, how they need a better UI, and how they need bootloader unlock support. So, for that, I think this is a very important video. Another reason is Iqoo is launching something known as Iqoo Days, where you can buy the phone at a much cheaper rate than its actual price. So that means a lot of users are also going to think of buying this device. So I'm going to divide this video into positive and negative. First, we'll talk about the positives of this phone. So when you talk about the positive, you directly come to the hardware of the phone. It has a 55-watt charging, it has quad cameras on the back, and all the cameras are actually useful, okay? So I'm not going to go in depth with numbers because actually when you talk about mobile cameras, numbers don't really matter. What matters is the quality. And I can assure you the wide angle lens has the best quality of the whole setup. The macro lens is beautiful. Well, the telephoto, again, pretty much good. The main lens is actually very nice, but is bogged down by the software, right? But we'll discuss that later. Another thing, this comes with something known as Monster Touch buttons. It is somewhere of a similar redemption of the air triggers. So this way you can hold the phone in a landscape mode and use it as a controller while gaming on the phone. This is very useful when you're playing Call of Duty, well, I would have said PUBG, but PUBG is gone now, or Asphalt, or any other games where you can actually use it, right? So that is something that is supremely cool. Another thing that I really like is the screen. So the screen has Has Hdr 10 support, is really color accurate, really punchy, and it's really responsive. It has a higher touch response rate. It does not have a higher refresh rate though, which is something I would have genuinely liked. Other than that, the front camera's punch hole is actually very small compared to other phones in the industry. So that is really non-intrusive and I really like that. So kudos for that. But that is where I think the positives are starting to end. The UI, even though has been improved to a certain degree, has not been improved enough. And that is where we transition into the negative part of the phone, right? So when you talk about the negatives, a lot of users have come up on Twitter and other platforms and have talked about what is wrong with the phone and what do they need. So majority of users need bootloader unlock support for this phone. And the company has been showing deaf ears. A lot of famous YouTubers have asked as to what the cause is. And the company says that our policy basically says that you can't unlock bootloader. But isn't the policy supposed to change for the users since they are the ones buying your phones and paying your company? But that's a thought for another day. Now, the company have answered about the bootloader unlock. What about all the bugs and all the problems? So a lot of users have come up with the problem that the OS is just not up to the mark. And to give you a simple and a subtle example of this is when you go into the phone, the first thing you see is the launcher. And mostly when you have a new phone, obviously it's the stock launcher. In the case of Iqoo 3, even the stock launcher stutters. Now this is a phone with Snapdragon 865, 8GB of RAM and UFS 3.1 storage. Should the launcher really stutter? No. That is where the things start to fall apart. The stock components of the OS have not been optimized for the phone. When you have to wait for your stock launcher to load all your apps, it is really embarrassing. Especially for a phone that is in the budget of 30 to 40K. But that's not all. There's an always on display which can only display notification icons of 4 apps. What is the use? So as you observe, there's a pattern here. The pattern is you have all the functionality, but it's so bare bones, there's no actual use of it. Moreover, the OS is made in a way that if you look at it, it's extremely lackluster, it's extremely colorless and seems like it is straight out of 2014. So that is something I think is really someone should be concerned about. Because the phone's hardware is brilliant, especially at this price. I think it's extremely value for money, but the software experience is really bad. So I am a person who's been using OnePlus for all these years and then switched to this company, and OnePlus has the best software experience anywhere. But then again, hardware prices for OnePlus have been increasing, so I thought buying this phone would be a great value for money. Well, hardware wise, it is a great value for money, but software just kills it. So if you are thinking of buying this phone, I would suggest don't just buy this phone because the hardware makes a great value for money point. Buy this phone taking a holistic look of what is happening. And what is happening is a company turning deaf ears and a company not concentrating on the software development part but incessant marketing. Right. So other than that, is there something even good about the software? Well, what is good about the software is just the gaming part. So whenever someone asks me, should you buy this phone? I suggest if you're a gaming user, go for it 100%. When it comes to running games, there's no match to this phone in this price range. It is a smooth gaming experience. Yes, it does not have a higher refresh rate scheme, but the gaming experience is so smooth, so consistent that it is absolutely amazing. Genuinely amazing gaming experience. But that is it. If you're a day-to-day user or a guy who likes flashing custom ROMs on his phone, enjoying how he can modify the phone, change things in his phone, this is not the one for you. Because you are going to regret buying this phone just like me if you're a person who loves tinkering with your phone the way Android should be handled, right? At a point where iOS is moving to more customization, there are certain operators, certain phone makers that are moving to less customization, and that really breaks my heart. Android is meant to be customized, and I think that should be allowed. Nonetheless, if you're not allowing the same to the users, I think the software should be improved. Well, that was all about good and bad points, right? So if you are thinking of buying this phone, honestly, wait for it. Think where the phone is moving and what type of user you are. If you are a user who likes to do things like customization, flashing custom ROMs, flashing mods, increasing the screen refresh rate like they did in K20 Pro, I think you should not go for this. Honestly, if customization is all you need in a phone, go for K20 Pro. I think it's a great value. But if you're a gamer, go for this phone 100%. This, as gaming, is the best device, especially with the fact that it can maintain its thermal very well. But that's where this wagon stops. It can't go beyond gaming. But I would genuinely like Iqoo to make some improvements. And then again, if improvements are made, I will be back here one more time with another video to tell you all about it. That's all for this video, guys. Thank you. If you did like the video, please press that like button. It would mean a lot. And I'll see you again.